He bought me with blood money, but gave me a love worth more than gold. The rain-slicked alley in Hell's Kitchen reeked of yesterday's garbage and fresh desperation. The kind that clings to your skin like cheap cologne you can't afford to wash off. I was 25, broke as the cracked pavement under my boots, sketching portraits for tourists who haggled me down to nickels outside the Javits Center. Alex Rivera, that's me. Latino kid from the Bronx, raised on bodega coffee and dreams of making it as an artist without selling my soul. But souls go cheap in this city when the rent's due and your mom's chemo bills stack like unpaid parking tickets. It started with a whisper in the back room of O'Malley's, that dive bar where the neon buzzes like a migraine and the air tastes of stale beer and broken promises. My buddy Rico, all tattoos and bad ideas, slapped a crumpled 20 on the scarred oak bar. "Listen, essay," he muttered, eyes darting like he owed the devil a favor. "There's this guy, rich, connected, looking for company. One night, easy cash. 5 grand. You in. 5 grand. That's food for ma, a fresh canvas, maybe even a ticket out of this rat race." I laughed it off at first, the sound hollow in my chest, echoing off the sticky walls. But the hook sank deep that night, as I lay on my lumpy mattress listening to the elevated train rattle overhead like God's own alarm clock. Desperation has a voice, low and insistent, whispering what if until it screams now. The meet was set for midnight in a penthouse overlooking the Hudson, the kind of place where the doormen wear more on their wrists than I see in a month. I scrubbed up in the wise communal shower, the water scalding my skin, steam fogging the mirror where my reflection stared back. Dark eyes shadowed, stubble rough under my fingers, body lean from skipped meals but wired with that electric fear you feel before jumping off a bridge. I threw on my best shirt, the one with the frayed collar from too many washes, and a splash of Rico's pilfered cologne that smelled like pine and regret. The elevator ride up was silent torture, numbers climbing like my pulse. Ding. Doors slide open to marble floors and city lights bleeding through floor-to-ceiling glass. And there he was, Marco Vitali, 42 going on timeless, leaning against a bar cart stocked with liquors that probably cost more than my life. Italian-American through and through. Bronx-born, olive skin etched with faint scars like road maps from wars I could only imagine, broad shoulders filling out a tailored shirt unbuttoned just enough to hint at ink and muscle. His eyes, dark as espresso, locked on mine, and the room tilted. Not pity, not lust exactly, something sharper like recognition, like he'd been waiting. "You must be Alex," he said, voice gravel wrapped in silk, extending a hand that swallowed mine whole. Calluses rough against my palm, a ring glinting, gold, heavy, probably stolen. "Rico says you're the best. Sit, drink." I perched on the leather stool, legs jittery, the scotch he poured burning a path down my throat, warming the knot in my gut. We talked, or he did mostly. Stories of his youth dodging cops in Little Italy, climbing from enforcer to consultant, in ways that smelled like blood money from a mile off. La Cosa Nostra light, he called it with a wry smile that didn't reach his eyes. Me? I mumbled about my sketches, the gallery dreams dying on the vine. His gaze never wavered, tracing my face like I was one of my own drawings, seeing lines I hid from everyone. The air thickened, charged with the hum of the city below and the faint jazz crooning from hidden speakers. Something old, Sinatra maybe, all heartbreak and horns. He stepped closer, his cologne a mix of sandalwood and smoke, fingers brushing my jaw. "How much?" he asked, blunt as a gut punch. 5? I whispered, hating the tremor in my voice, the way my heart hammered like it wanted out. He nodded once, pulling an envelope from his pocket, thick, crisp bills peeking out. But his hand lingered on my cheek, thumb tracing my lip, and damn if it didn't spark something forbidden. A heat pooling low that wasn't just the booze. "Stay," he murmured, breath warm against my ear. "Not for that. Just stay." I did. The night blurred into touches tentative at first. his hand on my knee, mine on his chest, feeling the steady thump beneath scars that told tales of knives and regrets. We ended up on silk sheets, bodies tangling in the dim glow of skyline lamps, his weight pinning me with a gentleness that belied the power in his frame. Whispers in the dark, my name on his lips like a prayer, his on mine like a curse. Sweat-slick skin, gasps echoing off high ceilings, the creak of the bed frame sinking with my ragged breaths. It wasn't just sex. It was surrender, raw and real, the kind that leaves you hollowed out and full at once. Dawn crept in, gray light filtering through blinds, painting stripes across his sleeping form. I slipped out before he woke, envelope clutched like a grenade, the ghost of his touch branding my skin. Down in the lobby, the doorman nodded like he knew, and the elevator drop felt like freefall. Heart in my throat, shame twisting like a knife. Back in my shoebox apartment, Ma's photo smiled from the fridge, oblivious. I shoved the cash under the mattress, the paper crinkling like accusations. $5,000 for a night. Blood money? Maybe. But as I scrubbed in the sink, water turning pink from a bitten lip, I couldn't shake the ache. Not regret, exactly. Something deeper. His voice in my head. Stay. That hook? It wasn't the money. It was him. And in New York, where love's just another hustle, I'd just gotten played for keeps. The days blurred after that. A haze of charcoal smudges and half-finished murals on brick walls that no one noticed. I wired the cash to Ma's account, watched the balance tick up like a lifeline, but sleep evaded me. Nights spent replaying The Penthouse, the way Marco's laugh rumbled low when I admitted my fear of flying, his fingers lacing through mine as if we'd always known. Stupid, Alex. He's a mark, not a muse. Rico cornered me a week later outside the bar, cigarette dangling from his lip, eyes hungry. How'd it go, man? Vitaly pay up? He wants round 210 this time. Says you're special. Special. The word curdled in my mouth, bitter as the coffee I nursed. I shoved him off, muttering excuses about a gig, but the seed was planted. My phone buzzed that night, unknown number. Missed you. Dinner? I stared at the screen until it burned, thumb hovering. Delete, block, run. But I typed where? Instead, hit send before sanity kicked in. The restaurant was old-school Italian in Soho, checkered cloths and candlelight flickering like secrets. He was there early, suit jacket slung over the chair, sleeves rolled to show forearms corded with veins and a tattoo half hidden, a rose thorny enough to draw blood. You came, he said, standing, pulling out my chair with a deference that felt wrong, like a wolf playing house. We ate. Pasta twirled on forks, wine dark as his eyes, talking everything and nothing. His divorce 5 years back, no kids, just echoes in a too big brownstone. My ma's laugh, the way she'd hum Selena while folding laundry. Laughter bubbled up, real and startling, cutting the tension like a knife through fog. Under the table, his knee brushed mine. Accidental? No. Intentional. Electric. After, walking the rain-sprinkled streets, his arm around my shoulders against the chill, the city pulsed around us. Horns blaring, laughter spilling from bars, the sizzle of street vendors hawking halal carts. This isn't about money anymore, he said finally, stopping under a awning, face inches from mine. Rain dripped from the edge, pattering like hesitant applause. Tell me to walk, Alex. I will. But I didn't. I leaned in, lips meeting his in a kiss that tasted of Chianti and possibility. Soft at first, then hungry, hands fisting his shirt as thunder rumbled distant. Passers-by blurred, the world narrowing to his stubble scraping my chin, the groan he swallowed against my mouth. Back at his place, no transaction this time, just need. Clothes shed in the hallway, stumbling to the couch where we crashed like waves, bodies arching in the firelight's glow. His hands mapped me, gentle on bruises from a recent bar scrap, fierce on hips as I rode the edge of release. Mine, he growled once, voice breaking, and I shattered with it, name tearing from my throat like a confession. Morning found us tangled, coffee brewing with its bitter aroma mingling with sex and sheets. He traced my tattoos, a sleeve of urban vines and hidden faces, fingers reverent. Your art, Alex. Real art. I wanted to believe him, but as I dressed, spotting the envelope on the nightstand, another 5, unasked for, the hook twisted. Blood money. His world was shadows, mine light. How long before it dragged me under. Yet when he kissed me goodbye, slow and deep, promising tomorrow, I walked out lighter. Fooled? Maybe. But for the first time in years I felt seen. And in this city of ghosts, that was worth more than gold. Weeks bled into a rhythm I never saw coming. Stolen hours in Marco's brownstone, where the air hummed with the low tick of grandfather clocks and the sizzle of veal cutlets he insisted on cooking, sleeves rolled, apron tied loose around his waist like a man playing domestic. I'd arrive with my sketch pad, charcoal dust on my jeans, and he'd pour me a glass of Barolo, watching as lines took shape on paper. His profile, sharp jaw shadowed, eyes holding storms I wanted to chase. You're dangerous? I told him one evening, sprawled on Persian rugs, fire crackling like dry bones, the scent of aged wood and his skin, salt and sandalwood, wrapping around me. Outside, autumn winds howled through Washington Square, leaves skittering like frantic thoughts. He chuckled, low and rumbling, handing me a plate of prosciutto-wrapped figs, the sweetness bursting tart on my tongue. Me? Nah. You're the one turning my life upside down. Kid. It should have stung, but from him, it landed soft, affectionate. His hand ruffling my hair before sliding to my neck, thumb stroking the pulse there. Flutter. Kick. We made love on that rug, slow and unhurried. His body covering mine like a shield, weight grounding, breath sinking in hitches and sighs. The scratch of wool against my back, his teeth grazing my collarbone, drawing a gasp that echoed in the rafters. Alex, he murmured into my shoulder, voice wrecked, fingers interlaced as if anchoring us to earth. Release came in waves, crashing mutual, leaving us boneless, laughter bubbling up as we caught our breath, foreheads pressed, hearts thundering duet. But shadows crept in, subtle at first. A phone call he'd taken the study, voice dropping to murmurs edged with steel. Capice? No loose ends. I'd pretend not to hear, sketching instead. But the charcoal snapped once under my grip, black dust staining my fingers like guilt. Rico sniffed it out quick, cornering me at a gallery opening in Chelsea. Free wine and pretentious chatter masking my unease. You're in deep, man. Vitali's not some sugar daddy. Guy's got bodies in his wake. Blood money buys silence, not hearts. His breath reeked of cheap tequila, eyes wild. Get out before you end up floating in the East River. I shoved past, the crowd's murmur swelling like judgment, but his words lodged like shrapnel. That night at Marco's I pushed hard, dinner forgotten, plates clattering in the sink, water running cold over my knuckles as I gripped the edge. What are you, really? Who'd you step on to afford this? My voice cracked, raw, the kitchen light harsh on his face, carving hollows under his eyes. He froze, towel mid-wipe, then sighed. A long, weary exhale that filled the space between us like smoke. Turned off the tap, silence roaring. Sit, he said, guiding me to the island stools, his touch lingering apologetic. Poured us both whiskey, neat, the amber liquid glinting like unspoken truths. Then it spilled. The old life, running collections for the family, knuckles bloody from enforcer days. A deal gone south in Atlantic City. Rival crew, bullets flying, a partner's life snuffed for leverage. Blood money, he admitted, voice gravel, staring into his glass as if seeing ghosts swirl. Built everything on it. Thought I could wash it off, go legit. But stains don't fade, Alex. They just Seep. I listened, heart pounding a dirge, the whiskey burning less than the image of him. Younger, fiercer. Hands that now caressed me once cracking ribs. And me, I forced out, throat tight. Am I just another laundering scheme? Wash the guilt with this. His head snapped up, eyes flashing hurt. Real, visceral, twisting my gut.
No.
Stood, rounded the island, hands framing my face, calluses rough against my smooth skin. You're the first clean thing I've touched in years. The way you see the world, colors where I see gray. I didn't buy you, Alex. Rented time. Prayed it'd turn into more. The kiss that followed was desperate, teeth clashing. Hands fisting shirts as we backed toward the counter. Dishes rattling. A glass tipping to shatter on tile. Shards glittering like fallen stars. He lifted me onto the cool marble, bodies urgent. Clothes shedding in frantic pulls. My legs wrapped his waist, his mouth mapping my throat, sucking marks like brands, mine, ours. Thrusts deep and claiming, gasps mingling with the rain pattering windows, building to a crescendo that left us trembling, slick, clinging. After, curled on the couch under a throw blanket soft as his promises, he held me. Chin on my head, arm banded secure. I'll protect you, he whispered into my hair, voice fierce. From my world, from everything. But protection's a lie in this town. 2 days later, it cracked wide open. I was mid-sketch in Washington Square Park. Pigeons cooing, tourists chattering, the fountain's spray misting my page, when the black SUV idled curbside, tinted windows like voids. A goon in a cheap suit lumbered out, envelope in hand, thick, ominous. From Mr. Vitali, he grunted, thrusting it at me. Inside, 10 grand, and a note scrawled in Marco's bold hand. For your ma, and us, trust me. Trust. The word echoed as I pocketed it, but Rico's warning slithered back, cold as the autumn chill seeping through my jacket. That night, alone in my apartment, sirens wailing distant, I counted the bills. Crisp, tainted, fingers trembling. Blood money. Love's currency? Marco called it dawn, voice rough from sleep. You get it. Yeah. Pause. Heavy. But Marco, this can't. Meet me. The pier. Noon. Click. The Hudson's edge was gray and restless. Waves slapping pilings like accusations. Gulls crying overhead. He waited by the railing, trench coat flapping, face etched with lines deeper than before. No hello, just a pull into his arms. Embrace tight, his heartbeat erratic against my ear. They're watching, he murmured, breath stirring my hair. The family, think I'm soft, going straight. This, hand gesturing the envelope in my pocket, buys time. Time. For what? I pulled back, searching his eyes, stormy, scared. I don't want your money. I want you. Clean. A ghost of a smile. Working on it. Then softer. Love you, Alex. First time saying that sober. Love. It hit like a freight train, stealing breath, knees weakening. I kissed him there, public and defiant. Salty lips, wind whipping, a jogger whistling approval. Horns blared from ferries, but we were islands, colliding. We walked the pier hand in hand, fingers laced, talking futures. Me in a studio, him consulting legit, maybe a cabin upstate where city noise fades to crickets. Dreams, fragile as fog. But as we turned, the SUV loomed again, engine purring threat. Marco stiffened, shoving me behind him. Go, he hissed. Now. I ran, heart slamming, pavement blurring. Glancing back to see suits piling out, voices rising sharp in Italian curses. Gunmetal glinted, a shot cracked, echoing like thunder, and Marco crumpled, red blooming on his coat. No! The scream tore from me, raw, as I spun back, world tilting. Sirens wailed approaching, but too late. He lay there, eyes finding mine across the distance. Love, apology, goodbye, in that final, shattered gaze. The hospital smelled of bleach and despair, that sterile tang that sticks in your throat like failure. I paced the ER waiting room, fluorescent buzz drilling into my skull, vinyl chairs creaking under strangers' weights. A kid with a scraped knee, an old woman clutching rosaries. My hands shook, smudged with charcoal and now streaked with Marco's blood, drying flaky under nails bitten raw. Nurses bustled past, white coats whispering efficiency. But time crawled, each tick of the wall clock a hammer blow. Gunshot wound, upper thigh, artery nicked, lost a lot. The paramedics' words looped, mechanical. As I'd ridden in the ambulance, Marco's head in my lap, his blood warm and sticky seeping through my jeans. His eyes had fluttered, hand limp in mine, murmuring Alex, sorry, before fading to gray. Rico burst in an hour later, face ashen under the harsh lights, leather jacket reeking of rain and smoke. Jesus, man, what the fuck? He collapsed beside me, knee bouncing erratic. Told you, family doesn't let go easy. I rounded on him, voice a snarl. This you're doing? You set this up. He flinched, hands up. Nah, ese. Swear. But Vitali's marked. You think they'd let him walk? Especially with you. Some pretty boy making him soft. Soft. The word ignited something feral. I lunged, fist connecting with his jaw in a crack that echoed, pain blooming hot in my knuckles. He reeled, tasting blood, eyes wide with shock. Security loomed, but a nurse intervened, her touch firm on my arm. Sir, cool it. I slumped, head in hands, the fight draining like sand. Rico nursed his lip, muttering apologies, but stayed, solid, for once. Hours blurred. Coffee vending machine sputtering weak sludge. Ma calling from the Bronx, voice trembling over the line. Mijo, what happened? The news. Not now, Ma. Click. Guilt twisted deeper. Finally, the doctor emerged, crisp, clipboard clutched like a shield. Mr. Vitali's stable. Surgery went well. You can see him soon. Stable. The word unlocked something. Tears hot and unbidden, tracking salt down my cheeks. Rico clapped my shoulder. Awkward. Go. I'll handle the cops outside. Cops, right? Questions I'd dodge, lies I'd spin, just a mugging officer, because Marco's world didn't mix with badges. The hallway to his room stretched endless, monitors beeping prelude, the scent of antiseptic sharpening to fear. He looked small in the bed, tubes snaking, face pale against pillows, beard shadowed blue. Awake, though, eyes cracking open as I entered, softening on me like sunrise. Hey, beautiful, he rasped, voice sandpaper, hand extending feeble. I took it, collapsing into the chair, forehead dropping to the mattress beside his hip. Sobs racked me, muffled in starched sheets, his fingers threading my hair weak, but there. Thought I lost you. I choked, lifting to meet his gaze, blurred. Don't do that again. A ghost smile, pained. No promises. Winced as he shifted, for line tugging. They came for a message. Family. Think I'm skimming for us. Even wounded, he claimed it. Rage boiled fresh. Fuck them. We run. Now. He shook his head. Slow. Can't. Oh, too much. But after. Yeah. You and me. Clean slate. Nurses interrupted then. Checks and charts. Shooing me out for rest. I lingered in the hall. Back to wall. Sliding down as exhaustion hit. Bones leaden, soul frayed. Rico waited, vending soda fizzing open. Plan. Get him out. Simple. Insane. The next days were siege. Cops sniffing, family goons lurking in parking lots like hyenas. Their stares through windshields promising payback. Marco mended slow. Stitches itching, phantom pains shooting like accusations. But his eyes lit when I smuggled in contraband. My sketch pad. where I'd captured him sleeping, vulnerable lines softening his edges. One night, post lights out, I slipped in, locking the door soft. Moonlight slanted through blinds, silvering his form. "Missed you," he whispered, pulling me onto the bed, careful, mindful of wires. We didn't fuck. Couldn't not hear. Just held, bodies aligning spooned. His breath warm on my nape, hands splayed over my heart. "Feel that? Yours now." Sleep came fitful, dreams of bullets and blood. Waking to his murmur, "Love you," echoed back, fierce. Discharge day dawned crisp, autumn gold gilding the windows. Wheelchair to the curb, me pushing, Rico idling his beat-up Civic, getaway car, no questions. Marco gripped my hand, knuckles white. "Ready?" "No, but yes." The brownstone felt haunted upon return. Echoes of gunshots in floor creaks, shadows lengthening accusatory. We barricaded. Deadbolts, blinds drawn, takeout containers piling like fortifications. Nights blurred intimate. Me sketching by lamplight, him reading aloud from dog-eared Calvino, voices weaving stories over the city's distant roar. But tension coiled. A knock, sharp, insistent, shattered a quiet dinner, pasta cooling untouched. "Marco Pald, fork clattering." "Hide," he hissed, but too late. Door splintered under boot, 3 suits storming in. Led by Frankie, Marco's cousin, face pocked and sneering, pistol casual in grip. "Traitor," Frankie spat, eyes raking me where I stood frozen. "Slumming with the help? Family first, Marco. Always." Marco rose slow, hands up, calm, calculated. "It's done, Frankie. I'm out. Take the books. We're square." Laughter, bark-like. "Square? You stole from us." "For him." Nodded at me, disgust curling lip. "Fairies got you whipped." The slur landed like acid, but Marco lunged. Feral, ignoring his limp. Tackling Frankie, fists flying in grunts and thuds. Table overturned, glass shattering, sauce splattering walls like abstract rage. I grabbed a lamp, heavy bass swinging. Crack against a goon's skull, drop like felled oak. Chaos reigned. Punches landing meaty, curses Italian thick, blood spraying arc. Frankie pinned Marco. Gun pressing temple. Click, and time froze, my world narrowing to that barrel's black eye. "No!" I roared, charging, tackling wild. We rolled, concrete cold through shirt, his weight crushing as the gun skittered. Breath heaved, face inches, his eyes, hateful, then widening recognition. "You," he snarled, fist connecting my cheek. Stars burst, copper flooding mouth. Marco hauled him off, knee to gut, wrenching arms back. Sirens wailed closing, Rico's doing backup called. Goons scattered, Frankie last, spitting venom. "You're dead, Vitali. Both of ya."
Doorslemd echo, silence crossing.
We collapsed, bruised, panting, me cradled in Marco's lap on the floor. His shirt torn, wound seeping fresh. "You fought for me," he breathed, wonder lacing awe, lips brushing my temple. "Always." Kiss, salt and blood, sealing vow. But the war wasn't over. That night, phone rang blocked. Marco answered, face draining. They took her. His ex, the one loose thread. Leverage. The hook twisted deeper, pulling us under. The warehouse district in Red Hook loomed like a graveyard of industry. Rusted silos silhouetted against sodium lamps, the harbor's brine tang mixing with diesel exhaust, waves lapping black and oily. We rolled up in Rico's Civic, engine cut silent, hearts thundering louder than the distant foghorn's moan. Marco gripped the wheel, knuckles bone white, his fresh bandage peeking from sleeve, pain etched in the set of his jaw. "Stay in the car," he ordered, voice steel, but his eyes, pleading, betrayed the fear. "No chance." I met his gaze, hand on his thigh, squeeze firm, grounding. We're in this. Together. He exhaled sharp, leaning to claim my mouth. Kiss bruising, desperate, tasting of mint gum chewed to stave nausea. Love you, idiot. Pulled a burner phone from glove box, nodding to Rico in the back. You flank east. Call if clear. Rico nodded, pistol tucked waistband. My doing, the loner from his sketchy contacts. Got it, boss. Slipped out shadow silent, boots crunching faint on gravel. We waited, breaths synced shallow, the dashboard clock ticking merciless. 12:03, 12:04. Marco's fingers drummed steering wheel, a tick from his enforcer days, betraying the calm facade. She's tough, Elena.
Ex-marine.
But if they hurt her, don't. I covered his hand, thumb stroking veins prominent with tension. We'll get her. His smile ghosted, sad. You make me believe that. Motion. Shadows shifting by the main door, rusted and ajar. We ghosted out, hugging walls slick with condensation. The night's chill seeping through my hoodie like doubt. Inside. Cavernous, echoes amplifying drips from leaky roof, pallets stacked labyrinthine, air thick with mold and menace. Voices drifted low, accented. Frankie's. Wake up, bitch. Your boy's here. Marco tensed, breath hissing. We crept closer, peering through slats. Elena bound to a chair, wrists raw, face swollen but eyes defiant. Brunette cropped short, tank top torn, posture unbowed. Frankie paced, goons flanking, cigarette glow cherry bright. Showtime. Marco surged forward, me at his heels. Gun drawn, steady despite the tremor I felt in his grip. Let her go, Frankie. This ends now. Head snapped, shock rippling. Frankie's laugh echoed hollow. Ballsy, cuz. With your pretty pet. Sneer at me, gun rising lazy. Elena spat blood. Marco, run. Too late. Goons lunged, chaos erupting. Fists meaty impacts, grunts animal. A pallet toppling crash like thunder. I dodged a haymaker, countering knee to gut, air hoofed out, doubled him. Marco grappled Frankie, bodies slamming crates, wood splintering sharp. Gunshots cracked, wild, deafening, bullets whining ricochet, one grazing my arm, fire lancing hot. Pain blurred focus. I pressed on, tackling the second goon, elbow to throat, gag, slump. Rico burst from shadows then, pistol barking, pop pop, winging Frankie's shoulder, red blooming dark. Enough! Marco roared, pinning Frankie prone, boot on neck. Take the deal or die here. Frankie wheezed, hate twisting features. Family, don't forget. We ain't family no more. Marco's voice broke. Raw brother once, monster now. Released, stepping back as sirens wailed crescendo, blue-red strobing distant. We freed Elena. Hugs fierce, tears unshed, bundling into the Civic as tires screeched escape. Back road to a safe house upstate, courtesy Rico's uncle, the drive tense. Elena patched in back seat, morphine dulling edges. Marco white-knuckled, glances mirror-checking tails. Me staunching my graze with bandana, sting fading to throb. Dawn broke over the Catskills, mist veiling pines like veils, the cabin squatting rustic, log walls, stone hearth, isolation's embrace. We collapsed inside, fire crackling reluctant under kindling, coffee perking bitter salvation. Elena cornered Marco first, slap echoing, crack, then embrace crushing. Idiot. For what? For him. Nod to me, eyes soft. Worth it. She eyed me appraising, then pulled into a hug. Strong. No nonsense. You better be. Days healed there. Wounds scabbing, bruises yellowing, but scars deeper festered. Mornings. I'd wake to Marco's arm heavy across waist, breath steady on my neck, peace fragile, cherished. Afternoons sketching lake views, charcoal capturing ripple silver, his profile foreground watchful, healing. Nights intimate unraveling. Fireglow dancing skin as we explored slow. Lips tracing scars new and old. Hands reverent mapping hurt to hope. His mouth on my wound. Tongue soothing salt. Drawing moan low. Bodies joining fluid. Thrusts measured. Gasps time to cricket chorus outside. Climax shared shuddering. Afterglow whispers forever. But calls came, burners buzzing ghosts. Family ultimatums. Return or hunt eternal. Marco paced porches. Phone to ear. Voice rising thunder. No more blood. Hung up. Face storm ravaged. Collapsing beside me on Adirondack chairs. Lake lapping lullaby. We fight, I said, hand in his laces tight. Or run farther. Run. He decided, exhale gusty. To you. Preparations frenzy. Rico fencing assets. Cash laundered clean. Passports forged fresh. Elena stayed, guarding flank. Marines don't quit. Her presence steel spine. The night before leaving, storm raged. Thunder clapping. Rain lashing windows like fury. We made love urgent. Bed creaking protest, sheets tangling, his body arching under mine, vulnerable, yielding. You're my gold, he gasped, eyes locked. Release crashing mutual. Tears mingling sweat. Dawn fled, bags packed, engine turning over gravel crunch. But as we crested the drive, headlights pierced rear view. SUVs, black and relentless. Ambush. Tires spun, acceleration surge, but they gained, bullets pinging fender, shatter glass spiderweb. Hold on, Marco yelled, swerving hairpin, underbrush whipping. Heart lodged throat, I twisted, firing wild from passenger. Recoil bite shoulder. A tire blew theirs, fishtail crash behind. We barreled on, escape narrow. Miles blurred, border distant dream. At a diner off I-87, neon flickering open, we stopped. Adrenaline crash, shakes collective. Elena bandaged fresh nicks, Rico scouting perimeter. Marco pulled me outside, gravel under boots, stars pricking velvet sky. Scared? He asked, forehead to mine, breaths mingling fog. Terrified, honesty raw, but with you, worth it. Kiss sealed, soft, promise amid peril. Back inside, pie cooling untouched, plans whispered. Canada first, then West, California sun, anonymity's cloak. But fate's cruel jester. A week later, Vancouver's fog-shrouded streets, we hold in a walk-up. Peeling paint, view of shipping cranes skeletal. Marco's wound reopened in the chase, infection raging. Fever sweat slick, delirium murmurs Italian pleas. I nursed him. Cool cloths temple dabbed, broth spooned, voice anchor reading my sketches aloud. Futures painted vivid. See? Us on a beach. No shadows. Eyes cleared brief, hand cupping my cheek. Fever hot. My artist. Saved me. But shadows lengthened. A knock, innocent. Door splintered. Frankie himself. Bandaged shoulder. Eyes dead. Endgame, cuz. Struggle brutal. Furniture splinter. Fists bloodied. Elena's shot dropping a shadow. I shielded Marco, weak on floor. Tackle taking bullet meant for him, fire bloom chest hot, wet. Collapse, world tilting red. Marco's scream, primal. Echoed as darkness edged. His face last. Horror, love, no. Pain was a tide, ebbing crashing, pulling me under gray waves where voices distorted. Marco's, ragged stay with me. Elena's clipped commands, sirens Dopplering close. Vancouver General's was chaos distilled. Beep staccato, latex snaps. The sharp bite of iodine swabbing entry wound. I floated above it, tethered by his hand vice grip. Face buried in sheets. Stubble scraping my arm as he prayed, halting Italian. Then English don't you dare. Surgery lights blinded post-op. Throat raw from tube, chest bandaged tight like mummified secrets. Awake in recovery, morphine haze softening edges. Marco loomed, disheveled, eyes red-rimmed, beard unkempt. Alex, name breath relief crash, leaned in, lips temple press, tremble betraying steel. You, okay? Voice croak, dry as dust. He laughed wet, broken, thumb brushing tear track. Me? Bullet missed heart. You. Fuck. Swallowed hard. Doctors say clean through. Lung nicked but you'll. Live. Word anchor pulling from abyss. I squeezed his hand, weak. But mine. Good. Can't. Leave you. Nurses shoot him eventually. But he lingered. Shadow in doorway, vigil unyielding. Sleep claimed me, dreams fever fractured. Blood money raining bills red. Love golden threads weaving through. Weeks mended slow in that sterile limbo. Tubes draining, breaths labored shallow. The window framing evergreens dusted frost. A world healing indifferent. Marco smuggled comforts. My sketchpad, pencils gripped awkward in bandaged fingers. Doodles of him dozing, lines tender capturing vulnerability. Elena stood guard, rotations with Rico across border. Scouts for safe passage south. Family trails gone cold but paranoia persistent. Nights, when monitors hushed, he'd slip in, bed edge perch, hand tracing my arm vein blue. Remember first night? Whisper soft, breath warm. Thought you were ghost. Beautiful, breakable. I turned wincing pull. Bought me. Tease faint but truth under. Bought time. Correction gentle. Kiss featherlight on knuckles. Earned forever. Intimacy adapted. No fire, just touches. Fingers interlaced. Heads bent close. Stories spun like spells. His past unburdened fuller. Boyhood bruises from a father's belt. Mob pull as escape. Elena's love turned ash in divorce's fire. Thought that was it. Gray till grave. Pause, eyes on me luminous. Then you color. My turn. Bronx tenements. Ma's hands calloused from factory shifts. Art as rebellion against concrete cage. Sold out that night. Thought it'd break me. Didn't. Pride swells his voice. Made us. Discharge whispered freedom, but caution chained. Wheelchair rolls hospital corridors echoing. Crisp BC air nipping cheeks outside. Safe house redux. A farmhouse outside Victoria. Ocean views crashing white. Isolation bomb. Rico's crew fortified. Alarms chirp. Guns oiled. But peace tentative. Healing accelerated there. Walks slow along bluff paths. Salt wind whipping hair. Marco's arm steady. Limp shared now. Badges matched. I'd sketch cliffs crumbling defiant. Him foreground. Scarred. Smiling. Alive. Afternoons. Porch rockers creaking. Elena grilling salmon sizzle. Laughter rare but real. Rico's jokes landing punchy, her eye rolls fond. One evening. Sunset bleeding orange across waves. Marco knelt. Awkward. Knee protesting. No ring. Just a chain from his neck. Gold medallion. Saint's face worn smooth. Wore this through hell. Now, yours. Slid over my head. Cool against skin, weight promise. Tears pricked. Marco. Marry me. Not question, vow. No church, no papers. Just us. Against the world. Yes. Pulled him up. Kiss salt spray. Deepening as waves roared approval. Hands roamed careful. Over bandages, under shirts. Stumbling inside to bed sun-warmed. Lovemaking rediscovered. Slow undress. Candle flicker dancing scars like constellations. Mouths mapping familiar new. His on my chest. Breath hitching over healed flesh. Mine on his thigh. Tongue tracing pink line. Bodies join gentle. Rocking tandem. Gasps crescendo to shared cry. Release blooming warm. Afterglow limbs entwined. Heartbeats duet. But idol fractured. A month in. Encrypted email pinged. Rico's contact. Family truce? Frankie dead. Overdose. Loose ends tied. Dead. Vengeance? Accident? Marco stared screen long, face unreadable, then deleted, ghost banished. Free, he murmured, pulling me close on kitchen table. Chairs pushed back hasty. Finally. Freedom tasted tentative. Border crossed quiet, U.S. soil under tires humming south. Oregon rains pattering roof, then California sun baking asphalt golden. L.A. fringes, a bungalow in Silver Lake. Hills rolling, palms swaying, anonymity in hipster haze. Life rebuilt brick by. Marco consulted remote. Legit firms, no shadows. His voice conference calls confident, tie loose. Me studio rented cheap, walls papered sketches. First show booked at a queer gallery downtown. Murals exploding color on canvas stretched taut. Community embraced. Pride flags fluttering block parties. Brunches buzzing with queer kin. Touches casual, stories swapped over mimosas fizzy. Marco adapted slow. Stiff at first amid rainbow chaos, but softened, hand in mind public, chin lift proud when eyes lingered appraising. Highs crested. Opening night, gallery humming, champagne bubbles, murmurs approval circling my pieces. Marco cornered in back room, suit rumpled, eyes devouring. Proud. Kiss claimed, wall press urgent. Hands hiking skirt no, jeans. Thrusts quick, muffled moans against neck, climax shuddering as applause filtered distant. Lows lurked, nightmares shared, mine of bullets, his of bloodied hands. Waking sweat-soaked, clinging till dawn chorus birdsong soothed. Ma visited once, flight funded quiet, hugs enveloping, tears for me novio. Blessing murmured Spanish over pozole steaming. Yet doubt whispered, blood money's echo, in bank quiet but present. Charity donated anonymous, absolution bought. Enough, I asked one night, tangled sheets, moon silvering his form. With you? Always. Arm tightened, breath even. Climax built unbidden. Anniversary marked simple. Beach at Malibu, waves curling foam, bonfire crackle. Dinner picnic. Lobster thermidor his make, awkward but heart. Wine loosened tongues, vows renewed. Rings exchanged plain bands, gold warm. Made love sand dusted. Blanket spread, stars canopy, bodies urgent. His weight welcome, thrusts deep earthward, cries swallowed by surf. Release arched, souls fusing, after fire embers glow. But fate's twist lingered. Months later, gallery solo show, crowd electric, bids flying. Marco beamed corner, suit sharp, but mid-toast, phone vibrated insistent. Answered, face draining, Elena. Ambush, she's gone. Gone. Bullet in drive-by retaliation, loose end unfurling late. Grief crashed, funeral sparse, ashes scattered harbor, her laugh echo in wind. We mourned raw, nights whiskey-fueled, days sketches dark, finds thorny, faces shadowed. Marco broke once, fists wall punch, knuckles split. Me bandaging, tears silent. Can't lose you too. Won't. Thou steal. Therapy sought, circles queer, voices healing fractured. From ash, resolve. Foundation founded Elena Vitali Fund. Anti-mob for at-risk youth. Blood money transmuted good. My art funded murals community walls, hope splashed bold. Year turned, scars faded faint. One dawn, kitchen sunlit, coffee perking. Marco behind, arm circle, chin shoulder. Golden, Alex. All of it. I turned, kiss morning soft. Worth more. 2 years carved us deeper, like river stones smoothed relentless. LA's sprawl our canvas. Silver Lake's bohemian pulse sinking our rhythm. The bungalow evolved. Walls hung my evolving works. Abstracts bleeding emotion. Marco's portrait central. Eyes alive with that first night spark. Garden bloomed wild. Rose's thorny nod to his ink. Herbs scenting air basil sharp when we cooked tandem. Hips bumping playful, laughter spilling easy. Marco's consulting bloomed legit. Firm downtown, clients clean, tech bros needing ethics audits. His gravel voice commanding boardrooms. Tie loosened post-meat for homecoming kisses hungry. Missed this, he'd growl, counterlift. Legs wrap as dishes soaked forgotten. Bodies urgent. Thrusts counter deep. Gasps echoing tile. Release quicksilver. Afterglow sink slumped. Water running cold interruption. My art surged. Galleries clamored. Queer mags profiling. From Bronx streets to silver screens. Headlines quipped. My murals commissioned citywide. Colors defying gray. Shows packed. Supporters rainbow varied. Toasts clinking to resilience. Marco cornered always. Hand low back possessive. Whisper ear nibbling. Sexy genius. Ma relocated partial. Apartment Echo Park. Visits weekly. Her hands now soft on retirement. Stories swapped over tamale steaming. Her wink at Marco. Buen hombre. Pride swelled mutual. Shadows? Faded, but etched. Annual Elena memorials. Harbor sails. Wind carrying petals white. Toasts her fire. Fund thrived. Youth centers funded. Stories shared of escapes mobbed. Our quiet donors. Blood money's ghost exorcised, transmuted light. Yet life layered. Doubts domestic crept. Marco's late nights. My travel gigs. Arguments flare sharp over minutiae. Like forgotten laundry or snubbed invites. One storming eve. Thunder rumbling Sierras distant. Words lashed. You're pulling away. Me packing easel furious. He caught wrist gentle. Scared. Admission raw, rain pattering roof. Of losing. Again. Bed that night reconciliation. Apologies murmured skin-kissed. Touches tentative to tender. Fingers tracing spines. Mouth slow worship. Joined languid. Eye lock unbroken. Rhythms building symphony. Climax wave mutual. Tears salt mingling. Forever. Breath dual. Horizons widened. Road trip planned. Route 66 Echo. Dust-kicked convertible. Wind-tousled hair. Stops storied. Grand Canyon rim perch. Hands laced awestruck at chasm vast. Vegas neon blur. Chapel mock vows renewed giggling. Joshua tree stars carpet. Tent zipped close. Love desert warm under meteor streak. Back. Inspiration flooded. Series wounds to gold. Canvases layered pain guilt. Show premiere black tie buzz. Critics raved. Sales soared. Enough for studio expand. Dream deferred claimed. Climax crested subtle. Dawn yoga mat. Poses synced breath deep. Marco's form mirror mine. Strong. Scarred. Beautiful. Post-flow shower steam veiled. Soapy hands exploring. Turn to press water cascade. Thrusts wall braced. Moans drown spray. Peak shuddering bliss. But pinnacle personal. Clinic visit hushed. Test stick pink lines twin. Wait us. Adoption whispers long. Now real. Boy. 5. Foster shuffled. Dark curls. Eyes wide trustwary. Named Luca after Marco's lost brother. First meet park swinged. Luca's laugh peal as Marco pushed gentle. My sketch capturing joy frozen. Home transition chaos joyful, crayons walls. Bedtime stories Italian lilted. Nights tag team soothing cries. Parenthood reshaped. Diapers dawn. School runs traffic cursed. But love amplified. Marco's lullabies gravel soft. My drawings bedtime tales. Luca's questions pierced. Daddy Marco's scar? Truth's age softened. From protecting family. Like us. Years stacked golden. Luca's 10th birthday. Backyard piñata swing. Candy rain. Hug sticky. Marco caught my eye over cake frosting. Wink conspiratorial. Best life. Dusk fire pit crackle. Esmores gooey. Stars pricking. Luca dozed lap, head heavy. Bought you once? Marco murmured, arm shoulder drape. Best investment. I leaned, kissed temple. Gave back worlds. Fade out. City lights distant twinkle. Our tableau framed, 3 silhouettes entwined. Love's narrative etched eternal. From blood's bargain to gold's grace, we wrote redemption. Not perfect, flawed, fierce, real, but ours, worth every shadowed step.